we know how to open Excel file, right? So, on the home page or the first page, you'll see on the left pane, connect pane, and all kinds of data can be processed here. And let us use Microsoft Excel first. And then I'm going to go to the place where I downloaded the Excel file, which is COVID-19 cases. So open it. Okay, I opened it here. And oh, I did not explain that to you. So one more thing that I forgot explaining to you was COVID-19 confirmed cases, and the other worksheet is COVID-19 death. So, there are multiple people who are infected with COVID-19, and some of them, unfortunately, they died. So we know that there are COVID-19 confirmed cases, and also among them, after say 15 days or 1 month, or even after 7 days, they unfortunately based on untimely death. And that's the data of COVID-19 death. So what we can do, what is nice about Tableau is that we can do a lot of data matching on COVID-19 if your data is well cleaned on Excel. Or through OpenRefine, you cleaned it nicely, then you are in the position where you can match the data pretty easily. In this case, something that we are going to do is we are going to do union, because we know, confirmed is the larger set of the data, right? So say there are 1 million people who are confirmed with COVID-19, and now we have, say, among 1 million people, say 10,000 people die, right? So they are a subset of confirmed cases, right? So we have to, now we are not merging them together, but we are putting them under the confirmed cases, and then specifying that, yeah, among them, 10,000 people died, and here they are, their names, right? That has to be joined together. And that can be successfully accomplished by using a function called union, right? So here's a new union, and I'm going to say, I'm gonna drag confirmed here, confirmed worksheet over there, and I'm gonna say new union. And I'm gonna drag table over there, and I'm gonna take COVID-19 death under, let me see, let me do it again. Let me put this back. So I'm gonna do new union first over here, and confirmed case first, and then death, right, like this. So I'm gonna unite these two worksheets together, and I know that COVID-19 confirmed is the higher set or larger set of the data, and COVID-19 death is a subset of the data, and merging them together using Tableau, that's what I'm doing here. And click on OK. Then it says a union is created right here. And it has merged the data. So confirmed cases here. Okay, so now if you have done that, now we can go to worksheet one. Worksheet one, and we are going to work with this data and see everything is working fine. So that's what we are going to do. So first, what we are going to do is we are going to create side-by-side bar graphs with filters for case by day, and that's step 5 on the tutorial. So I will first name this worksheet as case. So right-click on it, and you can rename. So rename cases by day. So that's the first worksheet that we are going to be work on, and we are going to drag date next to columns. So we have date on the dimension, so drag it over columns, and then we have this textual data set, and you can change the type of the visualization over here. So on the marks, first of all, we have to change this date from year to day. So let's click on this downward arrow and change the date from year to day. And I want to use this format of May 8, 2015. So that's the format that I would like to use. So that is why I'm selecting this format like that. And if you have done that, now the next thing that you can do is you can now make it, this is a continuous data. This green color indicates that this variable is recognized by Tableau as a continuous data. And we can change that to discrete because this date is a discrete data, meaning you cannot have 1.5 day or every 2.5. You cannot have that, right? So it's a 2.3 or 1.7 days. You cannot have it every second or every third or 17. You have discrete entity. For example, people, right? People is one person. There's no such concept as 1.5 person, right? So that's the concept. So that's what we want. That's why we want to change the data type to discrete. So right now it is indicated as continuous data. But no, it is not specified right. We have to change it to discrete data. So the moment you do that, now you have the discrete data. And let's now also bring cases to rows. So we have cases, number of cases to rows. How many cases did we have per day, right? So we see now here a graph. This is line graph from January 22nd, 2020 to April 6, 2020. We see gradual increase of the number of COVID-19 confirmed cases. And now you can change the type of this graph to various things. For example, you can choose show me, right? Here's a show me, and there are many types of graphs that you can try. For example, eventually I'm going to be using bar graph, but look at the surface data, and we can see the area data, and the larger it is, the more cases you have, right? So this kind of visualization you could try, or you could try this data, right? So this shows the area again, or you could use bubble data, right? So you see April 6th, you had the largest number of confirmed cases. And similarly, you could use this did not work. Let us go back to bar graph. So you can use bar graph from January 22nd to April 6th. If you scroll down, you have all the bar graphs right here, which shows the trend of COVID-19 so far. And let us now, another way of changing the graph, Narujen showed me, is this one. So on the marks, you have automatic. Initially, you had automatic. You could change it to bar or line graph or area graph. or square. You can try all of them if you want. So you can understand what kind of shade and things are available. And so map is not right at this moment, or can chart. What about polygon? What about density? So we have different types of graphs there, and we will be using the bar graph. So that's another way of choosing the graph type. And now we want to understand what type of case it was. Was it just confirmed case, or was there death involved in it? So let us drag now type of death or case type to column. And I'm gonna, oh, I see. So right now it's kind of backward. So let us change column and rows, switch them. So if you come over here, on the top, there is swap rows and columns. So by clicking this, we can change the shape of the graph. Okay. So just one click, it happens, right? So I use this swapping the row and columns. Okay. So we have that. Now I'm going to add case type to in front of columns, like that. And the graph is quite large, so it's difficult to tell. It's difficult to display everything here. So what you do is here on the middle of the top of the screen, you see standard display, and you can change it to entire view. Then it will show you the entire graphs right here. So here on the left, confirmed cases, it has picked up, and then we have death on the right here. So death also has been increasing, however, not as much as confirmed cases, which makes sense, right? Because death takes place after 2 weeks or a month later. So that's why we can see, and we can predict that the number of deaths will increase more than this because there are more people who are confirmed with cases. So that's shown here. And then now we are on step 11. And let's, this is the same color, and we can change the color as we learned last time. It's quite simple and powerful, and that can be accomplished by dragging case type to color like this. And right now we have orange and blue, and orange indicates it's death. And death are usually represented by color purple. So we can click on color marks and edit colors and choose death and change it to purple color. So confirmed case and death, purple color, and click on OK, and that will change the color scheme of your graph. And you see confirmed cases and death differently. And now also we have too many text here. So what we can do is that we can right click on this and then click on show header, uncheck it. Then we remove all these labels, so it will look much nicer like that. So now it's gone, and you don't see the crowded text there, so that's better. But when you are just hovering over the data, you see case type and day of date in how many cases we had worldwide that is shown there too. The same here. Also, let us get rid of case by day. So hide filter labels for columns. So I'm going to get rid of this case type because we already have confirmed cases and that. So right click, hide field labels for columns, then you can get rid of it. And let's add some filters as we learned last time. This time we want to add the countries. So let us add country region. Here's country region. I'm going to add it to the filters. And I want to include all of them. So I clicked on all and click on OK. Now I have that there. And you can also do show filter, right? So click on this downward arrow or right click and show filter. And that will bring up all these countries, and you can choose them. For example, you can uncheck them and then look at only, say, Belize. Right? So Belize case, not many cases and not as many deaths. So that can be accomplished there. And we can also change the format of this filter. So this is too bulky, and I don't want to take up so much space by using this filter type. So what you can do is here you see the downward arrow, click on that, and we want to choose single value drop down, this one. So we have multiple values list right now, which takes a lot of space, but we're going to just click on single value drop down, which removes all these multiple values and having a single drop down like this. Country region, with only a single line. Here, if you click on it, the drop down list appears and you can choose what you want. In the way, it's much more useful. And you can include more filters on the right too. Now, from dimensions, drag a date to the filters shelf. So we have date here, and then drag it to filters like that, because we want to include the date. And I want to choose relative date, not range of dates. So click on relative date and hit next. And then what kind of relative date do I want to choose? And we want to have starting date to add in. So click on the starting date, and you can choose include null values too. So that we can include all the data we have from January. Right? So say there's no confirmed cases in January 23rd, then if you don't click on this include null values, then it will be skipped. However, if you include the null values, then it will be shown there. In that way, we can see if there was any day there was no confirmed cases. That's good. And then you can show the filter. So show the date filter. Show filter. And now it's right here, and it's only one bar, which will allow you to change it very quickly, right? So March 10th to April 6th. So the filtering can be done very easily. So if you don't have this line, then you can click on this downward arrow and choose to start date and show title and all values. And you should be able to do. Okay, so that's a visualization, the data that in the graphics that we created. Now we want to do more complicated and sophisticated manipulation on this graph. So which is about creating a parameter. So I am on step 16 now. So I want to create a parameter so that the graphs, change based on what you are setting to, right? So you want to see how many people have died, and you want to see the cumulative number of people, and what is the ratio between the dead people versus the number of cases occurred every day. Those things can be manipulated by using these parameters and new variables that we will be creating in this section. So first of all, to create a parameter, what you can do is you have to right-click in the blank space, and here, right, you come over here, and then in this blank space, right-click, and you have create parameter and create calculate field. So we are going to create a parameter first. So that's why you have to click on create parameter. So you create a parameter, and the first parameter that we are going to create is select metric. Okay, do you guys see my screen again?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we are creating parameter. Parameters are, kind of calculations that you are going to do. For example, say you want to create a different field, then you can use this parameter. Those things will be done. So that's why we are doing that. And when you are creating dashboard, you may need to learn how to create a new variables that you are looking into. Right now, you are just visualizing what you have as a variable. But today I mentioned that, if you can use profit ratio per each sales rep, then that could be something that you can use across countries, right? So such a variable you have to create. And what is profit ratio? Profit ratio is sales minus cost, right? So what is the sales and cost? And you create that and use that profit ratio as the variables that you're going to use to compare all the representatives in sales, and that will help you to do it, right? So that's why we are doing this. In this case, we are creating select metric, and this is an integer data that we are creating. So let's say select metric is the name that we are going to use, and this is not float data but integer, because people, right? Again, this is people, is number, then it's not integer, it's float. But you could have used date or date and time later too. So integer is right here, and we are going to use allow values is list, and we have two values here. So 1, 0, 0 is total case. So you have to type it like that. And then 1 is new cases. Right? So 0 is total cases and 1 is new cases. So you are saying that when your parameter says 0, it's a total cases, right? For example, later when you are visualizing everything, at the time, we have total cases. Say that's 1 million cases we have so far. How many new cases do we have, right? Today we had 10,000 more cases. Then what happens is that you have to add total case, which is 10 million, I'm sorry, 1 million, and add 10,000. So that becomes 1,010,000, right? So that's how it works. That's why we are creating the select metric for this data. And if you have done that, now click on OK.
Professor?
Yes?
How do you open that menu to create the parameter?
Yeah, so what you do is you come to or click on this dimension area. Here is a lot of space. Click on it and right click, right? And you see create calculate field and create parameters. So we are going to use create parameter, right? And then here you have to use select metric. And this is integer data. And we are creating a list. And that's when it is 0, it's binary data. When it's 0, that means total case. Right? And when it is 1, it is going to be new cases. So that's how we specify or classify the data. So that's why we need these parameters.
Thank you.
Good. I have already done that, so I'm going to cancel it. Now you will see that parameter is created here. You can adjust the size of that. So parameter select metric is created. If you have done anything wrong, you can go back and edit, right? That will take you to the place and, oh, yeah. It has to be new cases. I didn't realize that. Okay, good. Now it's good. Okay, so that's how you change things around. And now I'm on step 17. Currently, it is not doing anything. It's only collecting input from the user and specifying them, but it is not acting upon it. We have not made any variable that act upon this parameter. So we need to create a variable that will act upon these parameters. So that can be accomplished by creating a new field. So let's click on this this area and right click and create calculated field. So we are going to create a new variable right here, right? Or what you can do is another way of doing that is coming to analysis. Here you see on the top of your Tableau menu, you have analysis. Click on that, and then you see a lot of menus. We are going to be using it today. And one of them is create calculate field, right? So that's another thing that you can do. That's how you can access it. And it does the same thing. And if you have done that, now I will do, I'm going to name it as a metric switcher. Right? Sometimes we are going to be looking at the total cases. Sometimes we are going to be looking at just new cases. So that's this new field that will be new variable that we will be using. And to do that, we have to, specify what this variable is about, and we are going to use a function, if function actually, to manipulate or create this new variable. And if, right? So the moment you type if, there are many functions embedded into Tableau, and it says if, meaning that this is a function name. So if, click on that, and then it's much like
I don't think we're. Do you have a pop-up window open?
Yes.
Because we're not I don't see that on my end. I only see the regular Tableau window.
Oh, I see. So thank you for letting me know. Let me do it again. Let me stop share and share my screen. Okay, so let me do it again. Come to this area, white area, right click, and then create parameter and calculate field. Click on create calculate field. And we have new name here, and the name is metric switcher. Do you see that?
Now I can, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you for letting me know. I didn't realize that. Click on OK. Oops. So if you have done that, that's an error. And here's a downward arrow. Click on that and edit it. Edit. You can go back there. And here we have to use a function, if, right? It's a function. So f and if are coming together, meaning that you are using function. And then what we are going to do is the name of this variable is select metric. So we have created a parameter variable, a parameter called the select metric. So we indicate that, yeah, just type select metric. Then it says, oh yeah, we have the same name, the same variable, the same field. Would you like to use it? So Tableau is helping you to choose that variable. So, oh yeah, this is the variable that I meant. This is the one that I want to use. Then click on that. Then it starts with a bracket, meaning that this is a field or variable, right? It's just like access. If you use access or SQL for programming at the time, you're going to be using this kind of language. Again, another way, is just type select. Then it's the variable name related to that just appears, and you just want to click on that. That's one way. Another way is you start with, yeah, I'm creating a field. So first start with bracket, and you type select metric that you have just created, and then that will also do the same thing, right? So you want to choose that, meaning that this is a field that you are going to be using. And you are saying if select metric is 0, right? If it is 0, what does that mean? If it is total cases, right? If select metric 0 was, we identify that 0 as select total cases. So that's what we mean. If select metric is total case, then there's a function. So again, this is a function. So I would say just click on that. Then your cases. So I will start with bracket and cases. So I'm going to use here cases only. So on the instruction, I have the cases union, but you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to use cases. Use the cases in the union. I'm sorry, in the database. These cases field you have to use. If that is 0, then use the cases as the number that you are going to be using. However, if it is not the case, else, then you have to use difference. So again, this is a field. So use difference number. And if you have done that, and so this is a simple if function that we learned in Excel. There we just use if and comma, comma, comma. We have the 2 commas, but here in Tableau, it's more specified. So each software uses different format of function, but usually you get the concept, right? If function, then you go through this format. So if select metric is 0, then use cases as your number, total cases. However, if it is 1 or else 1, then use a difference, meaning the total number minus the cases. That gives you the new cases, the number of new cases. That's what it means by metric switcher here, right? So you create this new value and click on OK. And metric switcher, there's no question mark or so error message here. So it is working good. Okay, so that's a new, we have worked with parameters and calculated field. Do you have any question about that? No? Okay, good. So now, instead of this sum cases, I'm on step 18. Instead of the sum cases, I'm going to remove this one and use a different one. So click on this downward arrow and click on the remove function, then it's removed. And instead of that, I'm going to drag metric switcher that we have just created and drag it to the rows like that. And we have the same thing right here. So what that does is that as you have like live data, right? For example, your data is constantly updated every day, right? And you can automatically update your data and you understand the total cases and the number of new cases. So instead of just number of cases, we're going to use this metric switcher for that reason. Okay, now from the parameter section, right click, select metric and show parameter. Right click and show parameter, meaning that it's going to be added to the filter like this. So now if you want to know total cases, that's fine. But new cases, now it changes, right? So how many new cases did we have on that day? Before we had cumulative cases, but on April 4th, we had 101,487. That was the new cases. How many new deaths did we have on April 5th? We have 4,768 new deaths we had. So that can be clearly shown by using this filter, select metric, and total cases, right? And we are also going to now create a dynamic mark label on step 20. Let's add this. So drag metric switcher to label. So metric switcher, just the variable that we created, and drag it and drop it down over to label like this. Good. So the moment you put it over label, what happens is that now you know the number of people are appearing on each data, right? The label is created there, right? So for fun, you can also, put like differences and then put it on label like this. Then now 72,933 is difference, right? That is appearing here. But that's not something that I want to do. So you can just click on back button. So if you add that onto label, you will see more labels on the data, on the graphic. And let's right click on year date. And here. And let's select exact date. It's already done. It's already done for me. So I don't think I have to do it again. Okay. And then step number 22, click label on the marks card here. And on the marks to label section, select most recent. So we have marks to label here, selected, minimum, maximum, and highlighted. Rather than using all the data, just show the most recent data only. So before, what we had was look at all, right? If you put all, then all the label for that cases are shown here. However, if you just click on most recent, what happens is that only the number for the most recent data will be shown here. So this is dynamic label. So rather than showing every label, you can do that. Or you can just put minimum and maximum, right? 17 and 74 is minimum and maximum. Or if your data is highlighted or selected, they can be used only, for example, this one, right? So when you do that, it appears like that because you chose selected, right? So it's an example of dynamic label. And at this moment, we are going to just do most recent because we are interested in what happened yesterday, right? That's the most recent data. So let's click on that. And that gives only 2 numbers over there. Also, let's go back to the label and label appearance. And under label appearance, we have text and font and alignment. You could change the font here. If you click on that, there are many fonts that you could choose, right? I have many kinds of fonts, so you can use that. And the color, if you want, you can change to, say, red one or green one, right? Or black or white or brown. So you can use the color there. And if you go to text, now we have some of matrix switcher. So I need to add date here. So that I didn't do that. So let me add date to label here like this. And label has to be exact date. And go to label. And over here, I have a date and switcher together. So I'm gonna change the order, date first. And you can make it centered, align centered. And then we can make this one bigger. Right now it's 9. You can change it to 12. And also you can say, make it bold. And if you want, you can change the color for this one only to say green. Right? So date and some, and click on OK. You get here. So you have the date and also the number. Now it's green. So you can change the color and font and size of your label as you want. So which is a very useful tool for you. And let's go to now label appearance. Let's see. So I shouldn't. So we can go to now alignment is automatic, but you want to choose this alignment. So here, right, aligned, and automatic is now automatic. Or you can make it vertical if you want, like this, if that is more attractive to you. And alignment and automatic wrap is off. So you can change things around if you want, like this. If you want to make it horizontal, you can do this, or the direction can be changed as you want, like this. So you can choose that. I want to choose this. Okay, so that's dynamic labeling that we have learned. And more interesting thing is dynamic bar graph. So this is really cool. So I hope you pay attention to this and use it for your analysis and dashboard later too. So dynamic bar graph. Let's do this. So we want to create another worksheet and then embed that worksheet into this case by day. That's what I'm trying to do. So let's click on this worksheet and let's name it as a tooltip. Rename as tooltip. Tooltip. It's done. And so let's drag matrix switcher to columns. And then case type to rows. Right? So we have confirmed cases and death, case type, and matrix switcher. If it is 0, it's total case 1, then it is new cases, right? So that we did before. And we want to show filter. So let's go to dimension and case type to color. So color, so we know, purple signifies that. And right click on x-axis and let's get rid of this x-axis. Very good. And let's also get rid of this title, tooltip. So hide title. In case type, we can get rid of that too. So hide field labels, so we have only that. And okay, so we have created this tooltip which shows this bar graph. And then let's go back to cases by day and go to tooltip here. So this is very important step for you. Click on this tooltip right here. And I want you to delete everything but date and date. So this is what I want you to have, right? Day and date. And then here I want to insert the graph the bar graph that we have just created. So come to this insert and click on that. And I'm going to insert the worksheet that we created, which is tooltip, right? And it says sheet name is tooltip and max width is 300 and max height is 300 and filter is all field. Let's do just this one. Click on OK. And then what happens is that whenever you are hovering over one bar graph, now you can see the tooltip where another worksheet graph in the worksheet is just displayed for you. They can be shown right here, right? It can be done. But in this case, we have showed everything, all field were showing. However, let's go back to the tooltip now. And if you replace this, this part, all fields, and let's do see. So you highlight that all fields part and go to insert. And you see all the field that you can insert here. and we want to insert date and date. This one, day from date. So day and date are going to be displayed together. So I replaced all fields with day and date. And click on OK. Now you see that date and dates are appearing, and confirmed cases and death are also appearing together. Go over here, confirmed death, right? Appearing there too. So by changing Tooltip, you can have a very powerful visual. Later we will, display this one on your dashboard, and it's kind of a graph in graphs. So that's a very powerful tool for you to use. And let's tidy this up. So case by day, I'm going to delete that. And I want to hide this part, show header, it's gone. Case by day, should gone. And show header. Hide type. Okay. So now, I have a big bar graph. It was very ordinary before, but now it's very dynamic, right? Because of the dynamic tooltip. That's what we see here. Okay, can you hear me? I will continue. So now we are on step 34. We are going to create a new worksheet where we're going to visualize things on the map. So where it is taking place, that map will be created right here. And I think one of the biggest advantage of using Tableau is that map usage is quite easy and it's done very well. So let us try to do that together. The first thing that we want to do is we want to create a worksheet here and name it as a map. We create a map there, and we want to now, kind of reduce the number of the occurrences by taking logarithm value of the total number of cases. So we will create a calculated field right here. So either this right click will show you create calculated field, or you can go to analysis tab there and then click on this create calculated field. And there you're going to say, yeah, this is log of metric switcher. So as you know, by taking logarithm, we can reduce the size of the number quite drastically. So we're going to use the sum of metric switcher. Remember, we created metric switcher that uses the total number of cases, right? Or you can just click on that. That indicates this is the field. And then parentheses, we have used 2 parentheses. That's why we are going to be doing that. Now here is double forward slashes. This is just like an explanation of what this function is doing, what you are doing. Because sometimes when you are creating a lot of calculated field, we don't know what you try to do. So you are just making a note of it for your sake or for others who would be using the same worksheet and improve, and they have no idea what you have done. So just for your information, we are writing like this, right? Used for the map mark size scaling. We are scaling it down. For that, we are going to be using log function, right? And hit OK. Then you have created log of metric switcher. Very good. And then we have So I tried this before, but let's see if it works or not. So I'm gonna just select all of this and then click on this show me, and we're going to choose this map, right? So we have map here, click on that. So we have latitude and longitude data. So you should visualize the things. And unfortunately, it's recognizing as average. Let's change this one to dimension. Dimension, very good. So then it worked. And let's also change to latitude to dimension. Very good. So now we have the full data set. So longitude, latitude. The moment we change it to dimension, it's not number, right? It's a latitude and longitude, the geographical data set. So it has to be the dimensions. That's what we changed. And the moment we did that, we were able to display this map. So that's so awesome. It's really cool function of Tableau. And now let's drag case type to columns. Case type to column over here. So we have confirmed cases and death, and then also the color we can change to case type to color. Doing so, we can change the color. So here is confirmed case and death. As we know, purple stand for death, so that's why we made a change. And then from the analysis menu, let's calculate more calculated fields. So many calculations will be done. So let's go again, analysis and create calculated field. And we are going to start with max date. And here, we are going to start with this curly bracket, and that's max of date. Click on that, close that, and this. So what does it mean? So we can say, what does it mean by curly bracket? It means include the level of Tooltip to find the most recent data. So ranking means that this is a unique for Tableau because the data is updated every day, meaning that you are going to be using the most recent data as it is updated. That's what it means by this curly bracket. So we are explaining that here, and click on OK, and we created that. And let's create another calculate field. I am on step 41, and here I'm going to create analysis and calculated field, and the name is date. Date is max. Max, and then this one is max date that we have just created equals date. So when something is equal to something, when zero is zero, when false, when true and false, and when they are matching together, we can just simply use this equal function. So I don't have to write it here. Click on OK. So this is true, false, whether they are matching or not. And the step 42, let's drag dailies max to the filters here and choose only true values. So when they are matching together, when date and max date is matching, at the time we are going to be using the data for the recent data. So click on OK. So we have chosen that. And we can add drag metric switcher to the filters, metric switcher to metric filters here. And then we are going to use the sum value of the people who are infected with COVID-19 and click next. And then we are going to use at least one confirmed case happen. Then we are going to be looking at it. So click on that. And then step 44, we are going to add some colors. So let's click on colors and opacity. So it's too dark here at this moment. It's kind of hard to tell where it is. So making transparent over 50%, you can tell where they are located, right? So, and also border is, you can change it to white. Doing so, it may look a lot more nicer. 50%, right? So that can be done. And then we want to create another calculated field, step 45. And the name is location detail. And this is a little bit more coding. So it's more complicated, but let's do it together. So we are familiarizing ourselves with coding. So we are starting with the if function. So if function, and we say country, region. We have that data, so I'm going to just click on that. Equals US data, right? Then use admin or county data. This is a county data, admin 2. So I'm going to click on that. And else if otherwise, right? Else if, and the property is a province state from another country, then now here's another expression. This expression means it does not equal to, that's what it means by that, right? So if it's equal, there's an equal sign, but if you add this symbol and equal sign, then it's going to be does not equal to. And then we don't have NA, but let's say we have it. NA, not applicable. Then we are going to be using province state. Okay. And else, what does it might be else here? If province state is not equal to NA, right? Then what is the case? We are going to just be using country region, because some country do not have a province state or country region. So if it is United States, we use county name. If it is a country with province state, then province state has to be appearing, and country or not, just country region has to be used for location detail. That's what it means. So you are just accommodating all the different variations of the addresses here. And click OK. Oh, calculation contains errors. What errors? So let's see.
I think you just have to press the space bar after that because mine did the same thing.
Oh, I see. Okay, good. And then end. You have to say, yeah, this if function ends here. Right. So then it says the calculation is valid, I am good, and my location detail is created. Very good. Okay, so that's how I created that. And then step 46. Now let's drag location detail to detail on the marks. So here, click on this detail. So we are making this video, this graph more detailed, right? So now it includes all the states and county level and province level. So before it was country level, but now we broke them down into state level. For example, you can see United States a lot more circles because we have now state level or county level data, right? So we have more circles right here. Very good. So that's done at step 46. And then 47. Now we'll need to create another calculated field. Let's do that. A lot of calculated field. So to create a good visualization, we have to work on this kind of things. And that is province, state label. So we are creating province state label. And we start with if function. And now province state, we have that, does not equal to NA, meaning that they have province state. Then use province state. If not, it is truly none, NA, then just use nothing, right? So if you put a space, they're going to be using a space, or if you can say A, B, C, D, or none, no province, right? You can do that, but I am not going to do that. So it says, we are not going to include anything in there, right? And finish the function, right? So we have created province state label too here. So click on OK. And we are creating another one. So let's go to analysis, create calculate view. So step 48, the name is admin2 label. In other words, the county label, US. So US county label will be created if country region is US, then you want to include this. Bar means everything, county, and plus admin2, meaning the county. Otherwise, if it's not US, then nothing, and your function. Right? So if country is US, then I want to include the county and the county name. So county, and this is a label, and then actually county, the name will be added to the label. So this is another way of changing your label yourself, because we are dealing with the global data. And click on OK. We created that. Now step 49. Let us add those labels that we have created to the label. So max state, country region, and admin to label and province to tooltip. So let's do the first max state. Max state to tooltip here. Good. So we have added, and then country region over the tooltip, and admin to label, and province state label. Right. So look at here. Now, if you go hover over there, location detail, Adair, confirmed, and latitude and longitude, and maximum max date, meaning that the most recent date is April 6, 2020. Province date is Missouri. Admin to label is country Adair, and the country region US, and the logo metric switcher is 1. And logo metric switcher 3.72. So log means, you know, if you take log, 10 is 1, 100 is 2, and 1,000 is 3, and 10,000 is 4. So it's about 4,000. So that's how we can read this log of metric switcher. So we can display everything like that. But it's too crowded, so we have to work on it later to simplify that. Now let's embed another worksheet into our map. So what I want to do is I want to go to Tooltip, right-click, and duplicate it, so that we can create another one, and name it as Map Tooltip. So right-click, rename, and Map Tooltip. And I want to just change the location to here, so I know that it belongs to Map Tooltip. And right-click on Tooltip date here, and you want to remove this one, and you want to add date is max here. So the most recent data, and that's true. I want to include a true. So the most recent data I want to include. And I want to come back to map now and embed this one into my map as well, right? And return to Tooltip, and you can delete everything except for this. So I'm going to, this explanation I don't need, and country region. I need country region, so include that, country region, and then province state label. So, and admin to label. This. So either, this one is either the state of a province of India or some other countries, or United States. If it is United States, you are going to have that state level label too. And then we have, I don't need this logarithm, delete that. And here we are going to include the worksheet that we have just created, map tooltip, right? That we have just created. I want to insert that. And here we have all fields, and this one can be changed to map details. So I'm gonna just delete that, include, so insert, and location detail here. Click on that. So you inserted location detail field into your dynamic map. So that will be displayed in your map because you have done that. So click on OK. Then you should be good. Let's go here. Look at this. So you see, you know, how many people have died, confirmed cases, all of them are appearing together here in this. So isn't it? It's cool, right? So you are embedding your this kind of data by using this dynamic tooltip, and that has been accomplished here. And we see that there are two null cases that are not working. So we are going to just filter this data out. So it's gone. Very good. Very nice map, isn't it? And let's create side-by-side bar graphs for case by country. And we are almost done with this dashboard. So let's move together. So let's create a new worksheet and name it cases by country. We want to understand cases by country. So how many cases are occurring by each country that we want to understand. And let's bring metric switcher that we have created before, right? The total case and new cases to columns, to the columns, and then country region to rows, country region to rows, and drag case type to columns. So I'm going to go here, type, very good. And then case type to color, as we have done before. Right. And then if you don't see everything, you just go to the top, center top, and entire view. Okay. So it's too crowded. Let's just go standard. And let's sort this one. There is a cool function here that I want to introduce to you. So here we can right click and we can come over here, country region, and right click. And here's a sort function. And this sort function is cooler than Excel. So I want you to pay attention here. Sort. And we want to do a dynamic sort by field. So this one is going to be done by descending because we want to know top, say 10 countries who are struggling with this. And the thing that we want to use is metric switcher and descending order. Then we can see up to April at the last year, China was the number one, and then US, Italy, Spain, Germany, France, Iran, and Korea, and so forth. But you know, later that year, the picture has changed. But that was the case at the time. So we can do that by using this dynamic sorting, right? So you can change it to field, and then by descending order, right? By doing so, you can do it. Later, you know, if you want, you can do average or variance. Variance can be also an interesting tool to look at because how many people have, what is the variance, right? So how much it is increasing. If you want to look at that, the growth rate, then rather than sum, you want to look at the standard deviation. Here we go. And you want to add the totals, and here's a cool function. If you click on analysis, and here's a totals, and I want to add show column grand total, right? Meaning how many people were infected with COVID-19. And it's now in the down there, so I want to bring it up. So totals, row, column totals to top. I click on that. Then now grand total is right here. In the first row, 17 million. and China is getting about 4.6 million, and United States 2.8 million at the time. Okay, so that's good. And from dimensions, drag datus max to filter. So datus max we created before, and bring it to filter and choose true, so we can see the most recent data. You can change that. And let's click on Tooltip. And let us not show the tooltips. So meaning, right now it shows confirmed case US and metric switcher 366,455. That's it is shown. However, if you now go to Tooltip, do not show those things, then although you hover over there, those labels will not be shown there, right? So that's a Tooltip function. And let's clean this up. Case by country, we don't need this. Hide this. Case type, hide it, and we can get rid of this confirmed. We need to show it, and that is good. And let's click on label and show mark labels and allow labels to overlap. So you can tell how many people are there. And if this number is too big, go to label. You can change the font to say 8, right? And you can use a different font. So Umincho, it looks smaller, so I can change that. So depending on your preference, you can change the color and the size of the number. And it's done. And now we are at a point to put everything together in the dashboard. So let's create dashboard together. As you know, this tile, click on it, and we can name this one as COVID-19 cases, right? And now the first thing that we have to do is we have to determine the size. So at this moment, you don't have to use fixed size, or you can use a fixed size. Sometimes you have phone, sometimes you have computer, and your screen size differs. So automated might be a good idea. And so that determines the size of that. And then let's drag cases by day that we create the first time. And that's going to be here, right? And then we are going to drag the map that we created underneath case by study by that, right? That we created. We can show this. And then underneath there, we want to put the case by country data right here. So we have put everything. Obviously, it does not look very good at this moment. It's too crowded, and we can change things around, right? So first of all, let's add a title of this dashboard. So here you see under objects, we can say this is under this. So I'm gonna add a title here and say COVID-19 cases. And I'm gonna select the title and make it 20. And you can use, your own font, and color can be changed to say green. and click on OK. And then you can change the size of that like this, so that it's not too crowded. And then let's drag this date right next to, or right below COVID-19. So you drag it and then over there, so it's there. And then the next thing is the select metric, this one. I'm bring it right next to here. Very good. And then I want to bring country region, this one. Bring it right next to it. And then you can change things. Date, you can change country, you can change country region, can change. So you can, if you want, you can add more, but this is also like this. And then you can change new cases or total cases, right? So the moment you choose that, it changes. Also change the space so that it does not take up a lot of space. It's done. And then let's remove case type. So if you click on this X sign, then you remove that. And log of matrix feature, that can be also removed. So click on that, and it's gone. So they are gone. We have only 3 filters displayed on this dashboard, and it looks pretty good. And then we want to create some, some blank space, and that can be done here. I want to create blank space over here. Over there, not too big, right? About this much. And then you can put another blank space there and drag it. Then you create a blank space so it does not look so crowded. Right? So having blank space is also a good thing to do. So blank space was created. And this one looks too big. So case by day, smaller. Here. So that's pretty good. And then let's go to step 78. Country region filter. I think it's too small. Bigger. Apply worksheet. Select worksheet. Selected worksheet. Okay, so here, selected worksheet, we are making it a little more dynamic, and it's going to be also related to the map of this worksheet, will be related to each other. So it's going to filter only the map. It's going to affect this filter is going to affect only the map in this worksheet. Okay, so it has been done. I'm going to save this one, and I'm going to save this workbook. Under teaching, and I'm going to go to business analytics lecture. That's 5. Lecture 5. COVID-19. Okay, I'm going to save that. And then the last thing that I want to do is I want to publish it on Tableau, right? So I'm going to go to Tableau public and save to Tableau public. That's what I'm going to be doing. So it says, an error occurred while attempting to save the workbook. So if this happens, you go to data and go to data and COVID-19 cases and extract data. So you have to extract the data. There's a student who encountered the same problem. And just click on extract. And it's going to extract it. You have to save it. The data sources, click on OK, and then go to server and Tableau public and save to Tableau public. And it's going to be saved there. And it's appearing. So I have them. Let me see if I can bring it. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see? Were you guys able to publish it? Anybody was successful? So now I have just published this work, and I can change new cases, and it's published, right? And I can choose, say, the US. Right? And I can also do this. So I think this is too small. I should have made it bigger. So that's my mistake. I should have made this cases by country bigger. I should have gotten rid of this part, cases by country, and made it bigger. I could go back and do that. But it's working. So this is my mistake. I have to hide the title and make it bigger. Map should go to case by day. Should go. And this one works better. So I can see more countries. Right? So that can be done. Okay, so this is how we have we have walked through how to visualize the data, and it is really good for you to have this dynamic tooltip, right? So dynamic tooltip is something that I want you to learn and learn how to use in your visualization. Any question?